Hi, and welcome to our webinar on transforming the revenue operations process. My name is Aishling Finnegan, and I am the Digital Transformation Officer at Conga. My journey at Conga actually started off as a customer, and we were transforming the entire revenue operations process. In my project, I was implementing CPQ, CLM, billing, and a back office finance system, and we did it all at the same time. That project had so many learnings that I now spend the majority of my time working with customers on their transformation journey. When we look at what Conga can deliver around revenue operations transformation, it really excites me. I know that Conga can deliver transformational capabilities that help customers maximize revenue yield through connected customer experience. The reason I love this statement because this is exactly what I was trying to deliver when I was a customer. We didn't want to just generate revenue. We wanted to make sure we were maximizing revenue yield on every deal that we were putting through. In order to do that, we knew we had to give that connected customer experience because there were so many teams involved. However, because there were so many teams and there were so many systems, this was a real challenge for our organization. So revenue operations transformation is about tackling these challenges head on. So when we look at connecting the customer experience, and we kind of try to break it down into the various different stages, we can see why it's highly complex. You know, you have all the various different products and pricing components that are managed by a team that's probably around your product or marketing team. You know, they're trying to construct products and bundles and services, how to price them, how to run promotions, and how to recommend and cross-sell better to customers. They also have to take into account the preferred channels that you connect with your customers on, whether it's direct via your CRM with your sales team, online channels, through a partner, agents, wholesale. There's lots of different ways in which many businesses can connect with their customers. It's all about then managing all the different types of agreements. And it's not just the different types of agreements, it's the various different stages an agreement has to go through, from being signed to negotiated, to amended, to renewed. There's so many different stages and there's so many teams involved. This process alone can be very highly complex. And then it comes to delivering, the obligation management, to getting invoices out, to your whole customer success life cycle. It's all about having the customer's account at the heart of the process and making sure that regardless of what stage they're at, that they feel that you know who they are, what they expect, and you have a continuous cycle across all of these teams. It's all about how to attract and retain customers by creating this flawless experience. Many businesses know that this is really a challenge. Why? Because it's not just about the different systems and the different processes. It's about all the different teams. And lining all of that up is a real challenge. You know, when we look at the concept of revenue operations and why businesses get excited about it, because it's about trying to break down these silos, making teams work better together. And the way best to do it is by making them collaborate and maintain focus on one goal. We are all accountable for generating revenue. They say there's two types of people in an organization, those that directly generate revenue and those that impact it. And making sure that everybody knows their role and what they need to do to ensure customers continue to invest and buy and work with your organization. Revenue operations has many benefits for employee experience. It can help improve team productivity by creating cross-functional collaboration. Get teams working better together, understanding the role they play, but also the role of other areas. It's about having full funnel accountability around revenue generation. Everybody knows their role. It's about creating this optimized and frictionless business process, not a sales process and then a legal process and a finance and then a customer success, an end-to-end business process. In order to do that, you need to have end-to-end data transparency and agreement on metrics. Everybody needs to know the data on how you're going to measure success. And everyone needs to know what they need to do to ensure the business is successful, not just their team. In order to achieve this, you need to have the alignment and the adoption of the tech stack. And this is where the challenges in technology now start to have a role. It's all about making sure your business has predictable business growth, and it's always maximizing revenue yields across every deal. This is the benefits that you can get for your employee experience. By having this, you'll automatically start to have a better customer experience. You'll be able to give your customers that seamless and personalized experience, regardless of the channel or the stage in the life cycle. Give your customers more tailored engagement based on past interactions and purchase history. You know what they've bought, you're starting to profile them, so you know better how to recommend the right product and price to that customer. It's about creating visibility and transparency around all terms and conditions, building trust with your customers, accelerating negotiations by having faster signatures, faster contract life cycles, even from afar, especially under COVID, where teams are now working from different locations. Automating this and accelerating these negotiations is vital to connect that customer experience. You want to give your business more predictable billing and payment schedules. It's not just about the generation of revenue, it's about the collection of it. We want to help our customers become more successful around their customer success. We want to make sure your customers are focused on expanding with you, not replacing you. So revenue operations is something every business I speak to is really excited about. But the big question they ask is, how do you make this a reality? How do we create this greater, efficiencies? How do we align everyone? How do we create the focus that drives revenue? How do we simplify our process, our people, and our technology, enabling this agility to keep things moving forward? These are the outcomes that businesses want. And the first thing we will do with every organization is we'll tell them to stand back and look at the process end to end. Try to remove why you do what you do today and look at what you sell. What are your products? How do you price it? How and where do you generate proposals and quotes? How can customers find about what you sell, interact with you, and ensure they get the right product for the right price? How do you then pull in those agreements? How do you make that a seamless interaction from sales into legal? How do you make legal teams interact better with customers to get it back, to then push it through to getting agreements signed, to obligation management, right through to then being able to generate the right invoice with the right amount, to do the revenue analysis where all businesses are looking at the same information around forecasting, cash flow, and understanding where the next opportunity is. It's all about connecting this experience to ensure your customers will renew and reorder with you. It's about maximizing revenue yield by looking at this as one seamless process. But having the ability to manage all of the documents, being able to automate all of the processes, the workflow and the approval management, being able to use data at every stage of the process to ensure you are always getting better and how you interact with customers at that particular part of the process. One of the biggest questions I always get from customers is, where do I start? Do I start at the stop, a catalog, and go the whole way through? Do I change everything all at the same time? And the answer is, this is based on your business. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But what's vitally important is that you do stand back and work with a team of experts to help you identify the area you will have the most business, that will drive the biggest business outcomes. Where's the biggest pain right now? Where's the biggest bottleneck? Where do you need to transform? And what is the best way to tackle that problem? In order to help our customers understand this, we've come up with the maturity model framework. The maturity model is all about delivering agility, flexibility, scale, and rapid time to value. So before we even think about technology, we will help you look at that process, and we want to run an end-to-end maturity assessment before we decide on any technology, because we want to thoroughly understand what features and benefits you need to use now to give you that rapid time to value. Many tools and technologies have so many features, you could get lost in a demo alone. So before you look at technology, the maturity model is about understanding where you are. Are you at the initial stage where your processes are manual and time consuming? Is your business in a reactive state? If this is the case, then we will want to work with you on getting the foundation right. What's the business logic? How is it managed? How is it centrally in a place where everybody can see it? It's about having it controlled, but accessible to teams that need it, whether that's your product and pricing information, your terms and conditions, or all how you're going to send out all that customer lifecycle documents. It's all about what's the business logic for that particular part of the process. Where is it? And is it controlled by the right teams and accessible to the teams that need it? Once it's accessible to teams that need it, then we start to look at the system. So it's all about getting users on the system, making them more efficient, taking that process, whether it's the process of generating a contract, generating a proposal, generating an invoice. How do we make it as repeatable and as reportable as possible? And when we look at that particular part of the process, we then want to automate it. So what we want to do is, yes, it's great to make it repeatable, but in order to make people more productive, we need to start taking out the manual processes. Get users onto the system, keep them on the system by automating the processes so they have more time to connect with customers. So understanding the teams involved in the process, the workflows that need to happen to ensure you can get information to your customers faster. Once you've got your logic in place and users are on the system and you've automated that particular part of the process, we'll then look at integration. So if we've done this for offering management and you're now generating proposals and quotes, you need to think about the next part of the process. Where am I getting data from and where am I sending data to? What we don't want to do is solve a problem in offering management and create a problem in the agreement management. It's about making sure we understand all of the teams in the end-to-end process and make sure wherever we build upstream, we don't create a problem for another team. So integration is really important when it comes to the maturity model, particularly around revenue operations. Revenue operations, I always say, have two key components: automation and integration. It's all about making data move better within the system and connecting teams. And this is what these two stages of the maturity model are all about. It's about taking your business to that truly intelligent state where you're now using data to drive your decisions because you have all the data, users are on the system, they're staying within the system because all the workflows are within the system through automation. All the processes are now integrated from one team to the next. Now you're starting to use data wisely. So the end-to-end assessment can happen at any stage individually, but we'll always look at the process end-to-end. And this is where we are doing this to help customers prevent doing some of the major pitfalls around transformation. So let's look at it in a little bit more context. So when we look at the maturity model, I'm just going to look at it in relation to offering management. This will be around how you generate proposals and quotes. So when we talk about the foundation stage, we are talking about all your product and pricing information in a central system. It's there, it's stored, it's managed, it's tracked, it's updated. There's a single source of truth around what's the right product, what's the right price, and what's the latest promotion available. It's about making sure that cart management is done efficiently within the business. It needs to be controlled by the right teams and accessible to the teams that need to be on the system. So for teams can easily come in and select the right product, get the right price, get whatever discount in place and get the quote out. Now we know there's a lot more complexity around this particular part of the process. We know sometimes there might be a non-standard quote and there might be some quote collaboration that needs to happen with other senior leaders maybe or other team members. We also know that there might be special pricing for particular customers. You might have to negotiate terms with a particular customer. You might again have to collaborate internally and externally. And then there might be an advanced approval process that once that it's all gone through the negotiations, it needs to be approved by the right team members in the business. Then it needs to go out to the customer. So the whole piece around this is where automation really comes in. Get your foundation, your business logic of the product and pricing. Get it easy that users can generate proposal documents once they've done the cart management. If they do need to collaborate, it's all within the system, not within email. When they need to then go into further automation and get discounts approved by senior leaders, again, it's all done within the system. This will ensure that everything is being tracked and measured and is seamless within the system. It's all about then moving to that integration. Even though I'm solving the problem around product and pricing and quote generation, I know I've got to send data to a CLM, back to the CRM, or over to your ERP so you can get the invoicing out. One thing I learned that when I was fixing this part of the process, I really saw how much my finance team were hugely involved in this part of the process. They wanted certain things to happen here so they could collect revenue easily. They wanted to they wanted to be involved, for example, in the approval process on payment terms. If a customer wanted to change our standard payment terms, finance wanted to look at that customer first before we'd agree to it. They didn't want to inherit a problem that would start chipping away at the revenue yield, because we're now having to invest more to actually collect the revenue. So again, you might be fixing just this part of the process, and you will get the product and pricing right, get users on the system, automate that process. Do not forget about integration. Bring other teams into the room. Break down the silos. Let them be aware of what's happening here and have a say to ensure that you don't create a problem for their part of the business. It's all about, as we said, taking your business to that truly intelligent state. And before we select and design and build any systems, we'll always look at what reporting do you want? Am I putting data in the system? Are the things happening within the system that will generate the type of reporting you need to make sure you are making better business decisions and you are continuously learning? Because once you go live with this, you might have to go back and change the foundation, because you're going to use data to realize that you might be pricing and packaging something wrong. Does everybody's discounting too high on this? Well, maybe the price is wrong. It's about using that data to drive the decisions to go back and continuously get better at this process. And the maturity model framework allows us to truly understand where you are, what you're trying to achieve before we select any technology for you. There's been many times we'll work with customers and we won't even select our own technology. Revenue operations transformation success is about driving your business outcomes, connecting your processes and connecting your teams. And this needs to be looked at in a step-by-step process that takes everything into account before you buy or build any technology. It's not just about the maturity model going across, it's about your complexity. We have lots of features and benefits within, if I was looking at a CPQ tool, for example, around offering management, we have vast capabilities around advanced product and pricing management. But you might not need all of those features. So it's vitally important we understand where you are today, what's the destination of features that you need to embrace, and what's probably best to roll out on phase one. Like I said, it's about speed to value. Don't spend months and months and months building and building and building, and by the time you get it in the hands of teams, they've lost interest or your business has changed. It's about having that agility of getting something built, getting it out, testing it, learning, and going to the next stage. And remember, you don't always have to go to the most complex features, because it might not drive the business outcomes you want. And we will do this across, the foundation stage into how you want to generate documents. So do you want standard proposals? Do you want advanced templates that include multiple different types of business logic? Will you ever move to online proposals? Will you want proposals on omni-channel? Do you need dynamic templates? These are all the various different types of, features and functionality that can drive your business outcomes, but it's all understanding about where you are now, what do you need now, and planning for the next step on your transformation journey. Automating simply to more advanced, integrating maybe just to one system with the goal, knowing you will integrate to the other systems over time, but making sure that I don't build you a problem now that in 18 months' time, I've created another problem. So the maturity model is all about having a framework that's visible and transparent between where your business is, what your teams know they need to do, and the technology you're planning to use, and getting everybody on the same page, understanding the same language by simplifying it and making sure everyone knows where they fit within this particular framework. The great thing about this framework, it works for every stage of the revenue operations process. So offering management, I've gone through it. We will do exactly the same for agreement and follow the process at the foundation to the system, to automation, to integration, to intelligence. We will take your teams on every stage of the journey. It's all about understanding your end-to-end value of your customers across the entire process and where you are on your transformation journey, and making sure that we're not too focused on one area and we're seamlessly bringing the process up over time, making sure it's always driving your business outcomes. So no, you don't need to do it all at the same time. You can focus on one area and fix that and move to the next, but we'll always be looking at this process end to end. And that's how you will use the maturity model to avoid some of the major pitfalls many organizations make around transformation. So when it comes to revenue operations transformation, always know that Conga will be here to help you deliver those transformational capabilities. It's all about helping you maximize revenue yield by having that connected customer experience. And we truly do have expertise across this entire process. But it's all about what your business needs, what your process, who are your teams. Our technology just would simply support it. But the maturity model framework is all about how we connect your business needs, our technology, and get everybody on the same page. I will be doing some Q&A with you now, so if there's any questions, let's have a look at those. Otherwise, please feel free to always reach out to me at Conga or on LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy, as any of the Conga team will be, to talk to you about the maturity model or talk to you about agreement management, offering management, billing management, document management, e-signature, automation, integration. We have expertise around all these areas, and we are here to help. And we will definitely help you do the whiteboarding and understanding what you need before we discuss our technology.
Good morning, and thanks for joining, and thanks for your presentation. It's great to have you with us, and great to have some time for some Q&A as well. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good. Busy at the moment, but it's good busy. So yeah, all good.
Good stuff. So we'll jump right into it, and the kind of a few questions come in and around kind of onboarding with this kind of thing. So do you have to be at a particular point in your transformation journey to adopt this? Is there like a recommended point?
Yeah, no, definitely not at all. If anything, it's all about where your business is. And the maturity model is about not racing to technology. It's about doing an assessment of where are you, where's your problem, and how can we help? You know, you go straight to a demo, or any supplier takes you straight to a demo, it's not the right thing. You know, what you need to do is that assessment of where you are. And then we either start on your journey, you're either on it, you're advanced. It's all about your maturity assessment, so we can learn where you are and help you get on the right road to transformation.
Nice. And with that maturity model, lots of things have changed, obviously, over the course of the last 12 months. Has kind of the maturity model, in a way, had to adapt a little bit or be slightly changed and tweaked? I know these kind of things like the maturity model are kind of really kind of set in stone, but has there been any kind of blurred lines between those stages or anything?
Yeah, no, not so much. It's more a case of people need it more. And the idea of the maturity model is about dealing with a current situation. So it kind of is, if anything, you know, COVID, people working from home, it's an assessment of your maturity around how you do automation or how your teams can collaborate online. So how can you do it? How sophisticated are you? What needs to happen? Who's involved? So the assessment is all about the business, what it needs to achieve, and how technology can help.
No, good answer. And we've had a really interesting question actually come in from the audience just now. Dominique Turlings has asked, how would you apply the maturity model when mergers and acquisitions happen, regarding the different stages that each party might be in? Is there an approach to that?
Yes, there is. And I often deal, whether it's a merger or sometimes I could be dealing with an enterprise organization that have several different divisions, and they're all at different stages of the maturity model. The reason I like the framework, because what it's about going into a particular division and understanding where they are on the maturity, and then using the exact same methodology to understand where the next side is. By looking at the two different people in their different ways allows you to see, and it's something where they both understand, they can look at, well, we're more advanced on, you know, automation. Well, we're slightly better on integration, but we don't automate as well as you. So it's kind of creating a common methodology that even though two businesses are doing different things and at different stages, can look at it the same way, and then look at which areas they need to adapt to get on the same page. So with Conga, have just gone through, you know, two organizations coming together. So looking at our systems, we're actually using the maturity model ourselves. So as a way of they're stronger here, we're slightly weaker here, and vice versa. And then how do we build a common platform?
Sure.
And always looking at where the business is today, but where both businesses have been before.
Yeah, that's a really good answer, and it's good that you can apply it in your own circumstances with the Aptus and Conga. So good answer. And then we hear a lot about automation on the event series, and a lot of kind of topics and discussions in and around automation. And it's obviously it's great for businesses, and businesses are turning to it more than ever before. But in some cases, and some audiences have had, it's also quite scary and daunting to kind of onboard automation tools and technology. Where would you kind of what would you say to an organization that was kind of just starting out and dipping their feet into the world of automation, and or at the very early stages, infancy of maturity with regards to that?
And again, I always say automation and integration is one of my favorite key areas around this particular piece, because everyone's like, I want to automate. And again, you have to stop the technology and the buzzwords and go back to which is the process. And I did hear the speaker before, talk massively about cultural change. And he's so right. That's exactly it. So we start, I always say, the whiteboard session. What is the process? Who are the people involved? Some people will look at automation and go, you're automating my job, so I'm not going to help you. Just pass it, and because people nervous. I was automating in finance where 5 people were sending out billing, and it was going to happen now at a click of a button. So it's all about taking people on that journey of what they're doing today, how manual is, where the pain point is, where technology can help. But you got to take people on that journey too, and talk about what their job will change or what they could now do better, that they're not wasting their time on manual tasks. So it is all about that process, the people involved, and then the business outcomes you're trying to drive through automation, but take people on that journey with you and do a step by step. And don't build too much. Agile, like I said, don't spend ages building something and then you give it to users and they look at you and go, we did that. No. Our managements will say they do it this way. And then to the front line, and then you go back to the managers and go, yeah, they really don't do that. I know you think they do, but they really don't. That's the hardest part of my job. So process, people, engagement, all decide together, and then use technology in a kind of agile pieces and slowly get better at the automation side.
Perfect. And then one very quick last question. It's kind of touching on what you just said. It's just coming from the audience, and I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. Florian Witch. How are you approaching the growing demand for business automation?
As I said, understanding where a business is. Don't get lost in hype. Don't get lost in loads of features and benefits. Don't get lost. And look what we're doing. It's all about where your business is, engaging with the customer, having that whiteboard session. We know we can automate very quickly. The technology can do it, but you got to take people on this journey. So for me, transformation is more about changing how people work and how they think and how they collaborate. Revenue operations is about bringing legal teams into the sales process, making sales work better with finance work better with that. Customer success not being the one at the end of the cycle, not thought about. So for me, the automation piece is very much around process, people, and then do the technology.
Perfect. Well, look, Aishling, thank you. That's kind of quick fire Q&A session there with you. I'm sure there'll be more questions. So as you did mention at the end of your presentation there, people can connect with you on LinkedIn to continue the conversation, or indeed reach out to you through Conga. But really appreciate your presentation and for taking the time to join us for that quick Q&A session.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. And thank you, everybody. And we're happy to help where we can.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much, Aishling. Really do appreciate it. And for anyone interested as well, there will be those contact details and resources posted on the conference page within the text feed that sits underneath the stream. So do use those resources to kind of further investigate and find out what Conga and Aishling are all about. Well, thank you, Aishling, and pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Bye.